Welcome to Between the Sheets, the podcast where we're going to cover a variety of topics related to sexual health and wellness. I'm Dr. Stephanie Zwanitzer, your host. I'm a nurse practitioner and have been in practice since 2017. I have my Doctor of Nursing Practice degree, and I specialize in urology and sexual health. I am so excited to explore all of the various topics related to sexual health and wellness with you in a fun, spicy, educational, and non-judgmental manner. So come on, let's get between the sheets. Hey, welcome back to Between the Sheets. I have a very good guest tonight. We have Mahmoud with us, and he is a PhD student in human sexuality and sex therapy. He is also an award-winning sexologist with training in Tantra and a sex educator as well with a very large following. So thank you for being here.
Thank you, Stephanie, for your invitation. I love participating in podcasts, especially when they're in English, because I can practice my English and share experiences with people who work in sexuality all over the world.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of my favorite things about this podcast is, in so many areas, sex talk is still taboo or it's hush hush, and getting more people like yourself and myself and getting these podcasts and different classes I know that you have and stuff out there, it just kind of bridges that gap and helps bring the conversation into a better way.
Definitely. We still live in a very conservative world, unfortunately.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So tell me about how you got into sexology. How did that evolve?
Oh my God. It's a very long story, but I'm going to try to make it short.
Okay.
So, my parents and grandparents are originally Lebanese.
Okay.
Both my parents, from the mother's side and from the father's side, they immigrated to Brazil, to the Amazon region. My maternal grandfather immigrated to the Amazon region in the 60s, and my father in the 70s during the Lebanese Civil War. And guess what? They used to work in the Amazons after fleeing from work, from war. They used to have a strip nightclub.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, both my grandfather and my father, separately.
Okay.
Then my father and mother met there in Manaus in the Amazons. I was born in Manaus in the Amazons. When I was 6, I moved to Lebanon with my mother. I grew up in Lebanon.
Okay.
And I grew up with my very religious grandmother.
Yeah.
She was very religious, and when I was 18 or 19, I came back to Brazil, and
Okay.
I had a cultural shock because it
I
was
bet.
different.
Yeah.
And I was suddenly in my father's strip night, and while studying psychology at
Okay.
university. And my father, he wanted me to hook up with the strippers, and they knew I was gay. I used to tell them I was gay,
Yeah.
and they used to tell my father, because I wasn't out of the closet yet, and they used to tell my father that, oh, your son is very good in bed. Yeah. But actually we were talking, they were confessing stuff for me, talking about their experiences. And sometimes they in Portuguese we say desabafar, when you pour your heart out because something
Okay.
is disturbing you. Yeah, and then I started becoming interested in studying sexuality and understanding sexuality, because certain stuff intrigued me. There was every Thursday there used to be a live sex experience there.
Wow. Okay.
Used to have live sex, and the man who was able to ejaculate, he would get a gift, which was a whiskey bottle. And
Okay.
yes. And I said, oh my God, I got very curious, and I started choosing my assignments at university about sexuality. So I started first researching about the fixation on buttocks, because in Brazil, big buttocks is a
Yep.
is a big deal here.
Oh, even though I'm not from Brazil, I know that's a big deal.
Uh, and then I started studying relationships. And then when I graduated in psychology, I had a good CV in human sexuality. So I started a certification program in sexology in human sexuality, and then I did masters in
Okay.
psychology. I used to research feminaphobia on Grindr, like how gay men
Mm,
they discriminate against effeminate men and those who
okay.
don't have hegemonic masculinity traits. And
Okay.
after all this struggle, all these studies, I saw myself in a clinic assisting
Mm-hmm.
patients for $2 a session, because that was the the value,
The
the
going
health
rate.
insurance. Yes,
Yeah.
I used to think, oh, I should like see patients with health insurance because I would fill my agenda. And then I was very like depressed and disappointed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and suddenly a miracle happened, Stephanie.
Oh, I'm ready. Tell me.
Life forever. The phone rang. I was waiting for a patient who missed the session, so I didn't
Okay.
earn $2 because I needed the session. $2, and I didn't have lunch for that. I
Yeah.
used to be in a very small city in the western Amazon region, and my phone rang, and it was a producer from the national TV Global. Global is the third biggest TV channel in the world after
Okay.
ABC and NBC or CNN. The two biggest are in the US, and the third
Okay.
one here in Brazil. And they were doing selections in my city for Big Brother. You know,
Okay. The reality show.
Big Brother. Yes,
Yeah.
Big Brother Brazil. Apparently, he saw my number on Instagram. I used to have like 1,000 followers on Instagram, but I put
Okay.
my number there because I used to imagine my sweetheart and like my the man of my life would call
Yeah.
me.
Just randomly.
Yeah,
I'm your partner.
I'm here for you. Or maybe a patient or something. Yep, no one
Yeah.
called me Stephanie except this producer, and I said, "This is it. I
Yeah.
need people to know what I do because I
Yeah.
already studied so much, and
Yeah.
it's not happening. So I need people to know me." So I went to the selection. I got accepted in the program, and I stayed 6 weeks in the reality TV show. I didn't win,
Okay. Well, bummer.
but when I went out, I had 2 million followers on Instagram.
Wow.
Yes,
That
and
makes you a little bit popular right away.
yeah. Yeah. I had 2 million followers on Instagram, and it started dropping after the program ended. But I created my YouTube channel and I started producing a lot of content in human sexuality. But since I came from the academia, I was a very serious man. I
Mm.
didn't even used to say erection, by the way. I used to say
Wow.
tumescence, because
Oh,
is the most like sophisticated term
right.
for election. Yeah.
Right.
And then the editors and the video makers who were filming me would say, "Oh my God, this is not happening on internet. You're not writing a dissertation. Like people want to stuff
Right.
to the point." And I started perceiving like a lot of women used to follow me, a lot
Okay.
of women, and those women they wanted to learn like how to do blowjobs or how
Okay.
to do anal sex without pain. And I said,
Yeah.
but I studied all that in order to teach blowjobs. I think they was like, oh, he's a gay man. He's like the gay friend who will teach me everything.
Right.
You
Right.
know, yeah,
We all have a gay best friend.
yes. And then after all these specialties and masters, I was on the internet teaching how to do blowjobs. Yes,
Not demoralizing at all.
you know, and I doubled my followers and
Okay.
did a certification program in Tantra. I studied Tantra
Hmm.
massage. And then I set up my company. It's like a online pleasure based sex education company where I offer ebooks for a very little price. Because I also figured out like sex therapy is very expensive and it's not
Yeah.
accessible for the Brazilian population. Like the minimum wage here is $300. How on earth they're gonna pay sex therapy? Yeah.
Right.
So I
Wow.
did this ebooks like for $5 and courses with naked models
Okay.
for $20 teaching stuff. And then I sold almost like 500,000 books and courses.
Wow.
And then Instagram deleted my account. Thank you
Of
so
course, because
much.
content violation.
Yeah,
How dare we get away with education and get violated for that? But then you see Listen, I am not a lesbian and I have more boobs and butts and vaginas on my Instagram page than I would ever like to see.
Yeah,
But education gets
gets
violated. Yeah.
yeah,
I
especially
know. Mine
about
gets put in jail all the time.
yeah, and it got deleted for like 6 months. I got very depressed because I lose like 80% of my revenue.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
and I didn't like become motivated again, and uh, but I'm like recovering, still recovering,
Yeah.
because I created a strong community. Their nickname, I call them piranhas, which is
Okay.
like piranhas is like sluts or bitches.
I like it.
Yeah, but it's different because piranha is a fish from the Amazon.
Okay.
Okay, and they live in groups,
Okay.
and they don't have a leader. And
Okay.
if a man falls in the water, the piranhas would devour them.
Yeah.
So they would eat him.
Okay.
It's like a metaphor for
Yeah.
yeah.
I
And
love it.
actually, it was like constructed through my relationship with my followers. So
Hmm.
maybe like some people would go into my Instagram and they would become shocked or they would feel annoyed. But if the person follows me, she knows because I constructed
Yeah.
like a community.
Right.
And the piranha name came because a woman sent me a message and said, "Oh my God, I learned everything you taught me, and I did them with my boyfriend, and he was like mad in bed. Oh my God, I'm feeling so powerful. I'm feeling like a piranha." And
Yeah.
then I posted that, and the others started calling themselves piranhas. So everything was like tailored to them.
Oh,
And,
fun.
and then last year in 2023, I was able to like save money to do my PhD in the
Hmm.
US because I came like I used to be poor. Like my dad used to have a strip night, but he was
Yeah.
a very bad father. Yeah. So I saved money to do my PhD. I found I
Hmm.
wanted a PhD with the most words sex in curriculum.
That's
Because
amazing.
yeah, because like my reaction to Instagram censoring me was doing this tattoo on my body, the sex
I
tattoo.
love it. I
Yeah,
love it.
and I said I want something, a PhD in something that there would be sex in the certificate because it's
Great.
like my reaction, I am very confronting. And I
Yeah.
went to a PhD at Widener.
Okay.
Yeah, now I'm working on the courses. I want to do research, and
Hmm.
I want to do research on something related to women's sexuality because
Hmm.
it's a form of showing gratitude to my followers. Because if it
Hmm.
weren't for them, I
Yeah.
wouldn't be able to do the PhD.
That is so lovely. What a great story. I love it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So tell me, like, I know that, I follow you on LinkedIn and Instagram. And so I see your passion and I absolutely love, what you're doing and your mission. Tell me and my listeners a little bit about what you're what are you doing to spread the word of sex, around and kind of break through these taboos?
Okay, so first of all, I think it should be accessible. I
Hmm.
know there are a lot of people who spend loads of hours and weeks writing articles, and then you read the articles and it looks like gibberish,
Hmm.
full of statistics and stuff. And we should make it accessible to people because
Yeah.
even someone who hasn't finished the school should understand. If we read the WAS, the Association. World Association for Sexual Health Declaration of Sexual
Hmm.
Rights, everyone has the right to access sexual education and
Yeah.
sexual health. So it should be accessible. I use very simplistic terms, not on
Hmm.
LinkedIn, because on LinkedIn, it's a space for me to share like ideas with other
Yeah.
professionals. But on
Yep.
Instagram, I don't even say vulva because
Okay.
unfortunately, a lot of women weren't taught the term vulva.
Correct.
They relate to all the vulva as vagina because they
Yep.
think all vagina and it's not. So I use like the colloquial terms. I
Hmm.
don't know them in English. Maybe it's pussy or like
Yep.
yeah. But
Yeah.
in Portuguese we have a lot of terms. In Brazilian
Okay.
Portuguese, xiri, pepeca, periquita. There's terms. And they identify because even people who don't have a lot of education, they would understand the
Sure.
terminologies. And
Yep.
little by little, I teach them the differences and the scientific terms. So I think accessibility
Yeah.
is the main is it was always like my mission,
Yeah. Yeah.
linguistically, in geographical, because everything is online, and
Right.
also financially, because this project is for people who won't ever be able to pay sex therapy. Unfortunately, I'm
Hmm.
very pessimistic about the world. I don't think it's gonna change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in the United States, a lot of the therapies can be covered at least partially by insurance, but finding mental health professionals and then finding a mental health professional that specializes in sex therapy is extremely difficult. There just aren't a lot of them.
Yeah.
So that's been a trouble. Some of my patients, as I work as a urologist, and so I'll have patients who come in for erectile dysfunction, pain with sex, trauma in their past, and I treat them from a medicine side, but I also like to get therapy on board, and getting them into therapy sometimes is really difficult. So I love that you have these books for people that they can get. Tell us more
Yeah.
about those.
Yeah, it's based on their demands.
Okay.
They are my boss.
Okay.
Okay, so I was very criticized in the beginning. Oh, you're teaching men how to please women, how to please men. This is very sexist. I know. I mean, they're asking me.
You're just giving the people what they want.
Yes, they're asking me. Yeah, you know what I
Yeah.
mean. So
Yeah.
now they're asking me because they want to learn how to cowgirl, and now
Hmm.
they're asking me how they squirt. That's why I think my PhD research is gonna be on squirting, because I don't
Okay.
know how to help them. It's something that is not researched.
Right.
So it's very based on their demands. I go on my
Hmm.
Instagram, I open those boxes for questions,
Okay.
and they sent me. So my first course was like tips and techniques to rekindle the relationship,
Yeah.
and then I did another one for oral sex, and then I did another one with sex positions, and then I did one about anal sex, and then I went to a tantra therapy course for me to become like a tantra therapist. And
Hmm.
they saw my pictures and videos doing the massage, and they, why don't you record a course with naked models for us?
Yeah.
And then I
Oh, good.
recorded a course with naked models for them, and now we want an oral sex course with naked models. Can you do that for me? And then I would record that. And now they're
Yeah.
asking me for courses on how to sit, but I don't feel comfortable. Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
fit for them. And they're asking me, they want to squirt. I don't know why
Yeah.
they want to squirt, but they want to learn more about it.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking of like researching it and then
Yeah.
doing something. So it's very tailored to the demands
Yeah.
of those who follow me or those who have already bought
Hmm.
a product. You get what I mean?
Yeah, I do. And I think that's great that you're so focused on, working with the people that are following you and are supporting you and then giving
Yeah,
them in turn what they are asking for. I
yeah,
think that's phenomenal.
yeah. And
So go ahead.
yeah, no, no, yeah. The when I stopped listening to them, there was a period of time that I stopped listening to them, and I said,
Hmm.
now I want to do an app.
Yeah.
It was a big fiasco.
Yeah.
You remember what I told you about the piranhas? They don't have a leader; they lead themselves. And if a
Hmm.
man follows them, they they devour him. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. They lead themselves. I have to follow the lead.
Yeah. I love that. All right. Well, let's pick your brain a little bit. So, oral sex, what are a couple of tips that you have?
Okay, so basically, I got those like from the internet, or like from
Hmm.
databases, and from books, like those Kama Sutra books,
Yeah.
and I just like recollected them
Yeah.
there. But basically, I teach them techniques. You put like some very cool name for the techniques so that it
Yeah.
incites their curiosity.
Yep.
Yeah, this is marketing, and it's like basic tips, like
Yeah.
to if it's on a penis, it's to lick from the from the bottom, from the
Uh-huh.
balls till the top,
Yep.
and then put it inside. And yeah, it's like pleasure based and very focused on the tips.
Hmm.
There's the tip of you taking out all the air from your mouth to
Hmm.
cause pressure. And of course, I also recommend them to talk to their partner. But
Yeah.
people on internet are very immediatistic.
Yeah.
They want you to give them, they want the answer.
They want the secret sauce.
Yeah, you have to give the secret sauce, which is what they want,
Yeah.
but you also should put there, like ethically, I do that. I put
Yeah.
there what I think they need.
Yeah.
So they want to please their partner, but I believe women's pleasure is also important.
Yes.
So I sell them what they want, which is
Yeah.
tips to please their partners, but there's also a part which is for their pleasure.
I love that.
Yeah,
That's
you should buy to
fantastic.
them.
Yeah.
'Cause
We
yeah, I've been working with them like for 5 years, and they're like, okay, oh, you only do stuff for to please the man. You don't do anything for our pleasure. And then I put something, I sell them something,
yeah.
I elaborate something for women's pleasure, and they don't buy it. So I figured
Yeah.
out a solution, which is like only sell the men's one, and then you put it as a bonus.
There you go. I like it. I like it. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So how about your anal sex tips? Because I do, we haven't talked about that a lot on this podcast.
Book that inspired me on my course. It's in English. I think it's from a Canadian author. I don't have it here. It's in my bookshelf, but I've already posted it on my LinkedIn. It's like anal sex, the basics.
Okay.
Was my inspiration for the course. I
Yeah.
did like in Portuguese we say passo a passo. It's like day by day. It's like
Yeah.
in 14 days. Like I used to teach about. I taught them about douching, positions for any lingua, which is oral sex on the anus,
Mm-hmm.
lubrication, sex positions that would hurt less, and
Mm-hmm.
especially not to bite the pillow during anal sex. You're a physician, you would
Yeah.
understand better. But when you contract here, the
Mm-hmm.
maxilla in Portuguese, like
Yeah.
the jaw muscles,
Yep.
your anus contracts too. So a lot of people like
Okay.
they bite the pillow,
Yeah.
anal sex, and the anus
Okay.
contracts. So you should like open your mouth, relax your jaw, and it
Interesting.
would help you with that. Yeah. So they are
That's
like,
a great tip.
yeah, I learned that
Yeah.
with a physical therapist, physical,
Oh,
yeah,
interesting.
pelvic
Yeah.
pelvic floor specialist, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. Well, and it makes sense because, yeah, you need that muscle to relax to be able to accept penetration, whether it's a toy or a person. And, it can be very uncomfortable and painful if you're tense. And the other thing I always tell my patients who are asking about it is there is not enough, you can always use more lube. Yes. In that area, that just if you are having some difficulties, just try a little bit more lube because there's
Exactly.
nothing wrong with more lube.
Yeah. Lube. Especially they should be water based or silicone based.
Agreed. Agreed. Yep, that's what I always tell them as well. And especially water-based if you're using toys.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Why?
because well, the silicone-based ones can, for some
But-
toys, it can deteriorate the toys.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So if you're using toys, you want water-based, but silicone is fine for, a human,
Yeah.
a human body part. Yes, absolutely. So talk to me about the I know a lot of your posts are just kind of trying to kind of bridge the gap over the different sexualities and gender preferences and sexual preferences and things like that. Talk to me about your work in that area.
On LinkedIn, you mean that?
Yeah.
Because like my biggest dream in life was always to be in academia, like
Hmm.
being a sex researcher. I think the best place in the world to do that is in the US,
Yeah.
despite everything happening in the US. I think
Yeah.
I think the US is still the best place in the world to become a researcher, and I've been like mounting my collecting books in sexuality since 2011, and I just want to share stuff like that and share my vision because I believe like in the future I want to work on internationally because I don't
Mhm.
imagine myself at 70, with all due respect, teaching how to do blowjobs.
Right.
Yeah, I don't. It's like something personal. I don't
Yeah.
imagine myself at 50 teaching how to do blowjobs and
Right.
sex positions. Yeah, so I think so. I'm like,
We need to evolve.
yeah, know what I mean? So I have a friend with a lot of followers. She's 50 and she teaches like Kegels.
Uh-huh.
She calls it pomporism. But I imagine myself teaching like more serious stuff about sexuality. So
Hmm.
this year I started my own certification program in sexology for like Brazilian folks who want to become sex therapists and sexologists. It's
Hmm.
a project for the future.
Yeah. Very cool. I
Did I
love
answer
that.
your question? Yeah, that's why
Yeah.
I'm because maybe I can make in the future my own institute and do courses in English too.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah. And so you are actually my first gay guest that I've had on here as well.
Mm.
So talk to me a little bit about, the difference culture that there is within the gay community versus I'm in the heterosexual community for, meeting people and dating and getting involved in sex lives with each other, because I know from a heterosexual point it's everything from one night stands, having sex on the first night of the date that you got off a Bumble, to people wait 3, 4, 5 months to have sex, and be intimate with each other.
There's this theory I learned in PhD. It's the sexual scripts theory by Simon and Gagnon. They're American sexologists who did the first theory in within sociology, like the first sexual theory within sociology. Like Kinsey was a biologist, and Master and Johnson was the physician, the
Mhm.
physician and his secretary, and Freud was a neurologist. But Simon and Gagnon, they were sociologists, and they said like each person has three scripts: the cultural script, the intra psychic script, and the interpersonal script.
Okay.
So depending on how you are socialized, you have a cultural script that is put like it's like laid on you.
Uh-huh.
I don't
Like
know how to
ingrained into us.
say it,
Yeah.
grade into you. So if you are socialized like a cisgender woman, you probably have heard like, "Oh, close your legs. That's
Mhm.
ugly. Don't touch." Oh,
Yeah.
you should wait till marriage
Yeah.
because if you lose your virginity before that, it's
You're a whore.
you're you lose value as a woman.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? But
Yep.
for many years, we gay guys, the only like representations we had of gay relationships were porn movies.
Sure.
So the cultural script that is imputed maybe or ingrained on gay men is like, oh, you should suck any dick you see in, yeah,
Yeah.
you know, like you
Yeah.
feel immediate desire
Yeah.
and pleasure if someone stick his penis outside, and you should like go fuck around everyone on
Yep.
campus, on sauna. And if your intrapsychic script, intrapsychic,
Hmm.
what you really 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 like, it's your like fingerprint. It's what
Okay.
identifies you as a sexual being.
Yeah.
There would be no problem if there's an alignment between your intrapsychic and your cultural script.
Yeah.
Okay, but if your intrapsychic script is totally different from your cultural script, you will suffer.
Mhm. That makes sense.
You get what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's very difficult. There are a lot of gay men. I saw that I was like searching for a massage uh,
Hmm.
on a website and an institute called Gay Love Spirit, and there
Okay.
was a soar with this phrase: "Gay men always look for sex, but what they actually want is affection," and that hits me
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
because like a lot of because it's we weren't taught to like seek affection, only sex, and I
Right.
think the opposite for women. There were
Yeah.
it's okay to love. You should
Yep.
find someone to love and spend your life with, but it's not okay to have sex. And for
Yeah.
men, even gay men, it's okay to have sex,
Hmm.
but if you love someone and if you demand affection, that would make you less a man,
Yeah. And needy, right?
needy, and
Yeah.
you won't. You get what I mean?
I do. I do. It's so interesting. And as you're saying that, I'm thinking through my own life and stuff. And you're absolutely right. It's women think of the love and the affection first and sex secondary, Whereas I think, more of the male culture, and probably like you're saying in the gay culture, it's sex first and then the other stuff.
Yeah, and I think it's related to socialization. I don't believe it's only like the hormones.
Yeah.
I believe we have sexual needs and and a need for affection.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I think there's actually a misconception that women have a lower libido. I mean, I know plenty of my friends who have higher libidos than their partners. So,
I think women are more exhausted than men, though, because I think there's a lot of pressure on them, like to they work and they do house activities, and
Mhm.
if you are exhausted and tired, there's no way to feel sexual desire.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very true. It's very true. And we talk about that a lot with, and my girlfriends and such, that even my patients will come in and be like, how am I supposed to be ready for that after I've done all these things throughout the day? And so there is conversation about, well, how can you lighten your load and all of those things? But it does seem to be heavy on the woman. Okay, well, it's your problem. And like, how are you going to fix it, instead of like, let's come together and figure this out as a team. So, and I'm always big on self pleasure too, and taking time to yourself, whether that is, just enjoying yourself, or whether it's leading to climax. And I think men are better at that than women are, because that's another thing that society has put on us. I'm not sure what it's like in Brazil, but in the United States, it's like totally normal and accepted that men masturbate, and masturbate frequently, and when they're in relationships. And women, you shouldn't do that. That's frowned upon.
I think also that society has convinced women that they are able to multitask. I've read that
Mm.
Lori Brodo which is one of the most cited authors in human sexuality, and no one is able of multitasking. Like,
Mhm.
have you heard that? Like, women are able to do a lot
Yeah.
of stuff at the same time. Men can only do one thing at a time.
Yep.
So no one is able to do a lot of
Yes.
stuff at the same time and do them perfectly.
Yes.
So,
There was a book, gosh, maybe in my early 20s, that I read, called Men Are Like Waffles and Women Are Like Spaghetti. Just
okay.
men are in blocks and do things in compartments, and women, do it all together. And to some degree that's true, but doesn't mean we do well at it.
Exactly. I think it's a big myth. And when
Mhm.
Lori Broto's Better Sex Through Mindfulness, it's
Mhm.
something I took. And I did an exercise. I went on a lecture. There was a big group of women. And I told them, I'm going to put some audio erotica for you. And I separated them in group A and B.
Okay.
And group A had only to close their eyes and listen to the audio erotica. There was a very sexy man with a very hoarse voice,
Okay.
doing very sexy things. And the other group had to listen while calculating the prices of a supermarket list,
Hmm. Okay.
thinking about their body defect, like things they don't like in their bodies, because they do that in sex.
Yeah.
And then the women in group A, they were like, oh my god, they were crazy. The women in group B were all like disturbed. And
Yeah.
the lesson I want them to take is that you can do several stuff at the same time. You should like do
Yep.
one thing. So if
Yep.
you're having sex, you're having sex.
Yep. Yeah, and I talk to my men about that too, especially who have erection issues. They can't maintain their erection or whatever. I'm like, you got to practice mindfulness when you're not in the bedroom, so that when you are acting, having intercourse or foreplay or whatever, that you can be in that moment and be thinking about that, because it's important for both of us, both men and women, to keep the arousal, to keep the body functions going, and to achieve a good climax.
Exactly. I always remember a theory I learned recently at Kinsey, the polyvagal theory,
Hmm.
and the importance of nervous system regulation. You must have gone through the classes about the sympathetic nervous system,
Hmm.
which is the fight and
Flight. Hmm.
right, and the rest and digest system, which is the parasympathetic. So if we look at those biology classes, you would see that the parasympathetic system, which is the rest and digest one, it's responsible for erection.
Hmm.
It's responsible for sexual excitation, because you need to be in a rest digest mood for your
Yeah.
body to send blood to your penis.
Yeah.
you're in a fight and flight mood, like you're in a bed with a hot woman or a hot man, but you're actually in a fight and flight mood because you're stressed up, because of work, or you have
Yep.
performance anxiety. It would be more difficult to get an erection. So you need to
Right.
regulate. You need to do things that would relax, so that you will be able to have an erection.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really interesting. That's, and that probably goes back to some of the other stuff that you've learned through the psychology and the tantra and things like that, is really that mindfulness and that getting connected with your body and your breath.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's amazing. How does tantric massage work?
Oh, I love it. It was one of the most incredible experiences I have. I first went, they start with a sensory focus. It's called
Okay.
sensitive touch.
Okay.
Okay. And then after that, there is the lingam and yoni massage, which is the genital massage.
Okay.
Lingam is on the penis,
Okay.
and the it's not like this, like the regular one we see on TV, or how men do that. There
Yeah.
are certain techniques, like this and like this and like this
Okay. So some
penis,
twisting.
on the
Yeah.
gland. Yeah, with a lubricant. And there's the yoni massage, which is on the vulva. So
Hmm.
there's like counting dollars on the inner labia and the
Okay.
outer labia. And there's on the clitoris movements in form of an infinite symbol. And
Okay.
then inside the vulva. And there's also the P spot,
Oh, what's
which
that?
is the prostatic massage.
Okay.
For men. And there are variations, like the Western variations of tantra, like neo tantra. Sexological bodywork
Hmm.
also takes a lot of stuff from tantra. I've read in a book on sensate focus that Master and Johnson, actually, they were inspired by tantra to create the sensate focus exercise, which is one of the most subscribed assignments in sex therapy. It actually
Very cool.
originates from tantra.
Very cool. I love that. So it's very erotic, but very sensual, it sounds like.
Yes, and it takes the focus from orgasm. It takes the
Hmm.
focus from penetration, and
Yeah.
they also sometimes include, when you do it with your couple, spooning and breathing together in the
Mm.
same rhythm. So, like,
Okay.
one would look into the other, and they would try to breathe in and breathe out in the same rhythm, so that they
Okay.
connect. I teach that
Yeah.
in the first module of my tantra course. And yeah, there are a lot of teachings from tantra that we can use in sexual medicine, sex
Yeah.
therapy, sex education, because people are always on a rush.
Yes.
They want to have sex as if they're like fleeing from the police.
Yeah. It's just another thing to check off the box on my to-do list.
Yeah, especially men. Like the women that follow me, they complain a lot about their men. They don't do foreplay. They don't
Hmm.
eat me. They want to go
Yeah.
directly to penetration. Is that a
Yeah.
global issue? Is that an issue in
Yeah, it
the
is a global. Yeah, it's a global issue. Yeah. You're not special in Brazil.
I think you girls should go on the street, please. Yeah,
Yeah. Foreplay is needed.
yeah,
Well, it's true because women take up to 20 minutes for full arousal and ability to even have an orgasm. So if you're just going wham bam, thank you, ma'am, we're not even getting to where we're ready to climax.
exactly.
So it's so important. And yeah, I had a partner who the person he had been with prior to me, quote unquote, didn't like foreplay. I don't know if that is accurate or not, or if that was just his way of not having to do it very much. But I was like, well, I like it. So if you're gonna play at this playground, you're gonna spend some time here.
Yeah. In Brazil, we say you gotta kiss the playground before making a goal.
Oh, I love that. I love
Yeah.
that.
Tem que, antes de fazer gol, tem que beijar o gramado. That's how we say it in Portuguese. I love it, but in English you have those slang terms for sexuality. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I'm learning a lot from you tonight, though. This is great. You guys have great sayings.
Yeah. I learned like queef. I learned it in
Yep.
PhD on my first class because oh, I queefed. I said, what is queef? Sorry. And in here in Brazil we call it buceidos, which is like pussy farts.
Exactly what it is. See, and people wonder why I want to work in sexuality. When
I,
can you have this much fun in other jobs?
I love my work. I
Yeah.
it's because of the censorship and people are always blocking me, the social media. But it's okay now. I'm trying to diversify, so I'm
Yeah.
back to academia, and I have my own certification program. Just not to feel like I cease to exist if my social media went down.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. You got to spread it out there, be diversify. I love that.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and there's a lot to do within the community now. I mean, we have like I'm a member of the Sexual Medicine Society of North America, so we have conferences. The Ishwish is the women's sexual
I
health, and so
love
they have,
the gold
aren't they
smile. It's
fantastic?
so
Yes. Actually,
lovely.
weren't they in Brazil this year?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I watched their conference, and I told her I'm a very huge fan of their work. They
Yeah.
publish a lot. I will go to an Ishwish Congress sometime soon. Maybe we meet.
Yeah. Yeah, we should. That'd be great. Yeah. Yeah, but it's just so nice that there are these communities now where we can talk freely and openly and share ideas with each other without the censorship of social media and stuff. And that's also why I like doing the podcast, where I might be limited a little bit on what I post on my socials to promote the podcast, but we can say whatever the hell we want while we're talking. And that I love.
Yeah.
Well, any last tips or tricks or
Oh,
anything you want to say?
it's already over.
I know. Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah, time. Other tips. Uh, Let me think about something bombastic.
Oh, yes.
Because we have it's in Brazil we say it's the cherry on the top of of the cake.
Yes. Yes. I love the cherry on the top. That's the best part.
On the top of the cake. I think the same way like every person has a fingerprint, we have a
Yeah.
sexual fingerprint.
Mm-hmm.
Like each person regardless of their gender, sexual orientation, pronouns, how she, they identify.
Mm-hmm.
Each person lives their sexuality in a very unique form. Don't compare yourself to others.
That's beautiful. You're right.
Like if your friend said, "Oh my God, I had multiple orgasms," it doesn't mean you should or you are able to have that.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Good sex is the sex that makes you feel satisfied, well, and happy.
Yes.
If
Yes.
someone is a porn actor and he has sex with 30 guys every day and he inserts a dildo of 47 kilometers in his asshole, doesn't mean he has a more interesting sex life than you
That's right.
who cuddle and spoon and do the missionary position every day.
That's right.
Because what
That's right.
matters is how you feel.
Yeah.
Okay?
I love that. That's perfect. And then we will include in the show notes some links so you guys can follow Mohammed.
Oh, yeah. Follow me on
Yeah.
LinkedIn because it's the only place I speak in English. Every
Okay.
other social media is on Portuguese.
Okay.
But who knows?
Yeah.
I made you laugh today. I
You
made
did.
Yeah, so maybe it's
Yes.
worth if I produce some content in English.
I think you can do the English content as well.
You
Are
have-
your books that you have also available in English or are those in Portuguese only?
no, only in Portuguese, but
Okay.
publishing soon, scientific
Okay.
articles, because I'm working on
Awesome.
that. Yes.
Awesome. Oh, what a fantastic conversation. Thank you so much for coming on, and good luck with the rest of your PhD.
I loved our conversation, Stephanie. By
Yes,
the
me
way,
too.
as part of my PhD, I'm looking to practicums in sex therapy in the US. So if you know of
Okay.
any opportunities, just send me the link.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Will do. All right. Thanks so much for being on, and everybody else, take care. We'll see you next time between the sheets.
Bye bye.
Thank you for listening and spending time with me today. You can catch new episodes of Between the Sheets every Wednesday, because what better way to add some spice to your life than to have a new podcast on Hump Day? We will continue to explore common, uncommon, and taboo topics related to sexual health and wellness. Please send any comments, questions, or stories to podcastbetweenthesheets@gmail.com. That's all one word, podcastbetweenthesheets@gmail.com. Have a great day. And remember how important it is to discuss these topics with your friends, your family, and of course your partners. In fact, you can like, follow, and share this podcast so they can see it too. See you next time for more sexual health topics between the sheets.